Hey folks, if you have been into dev space, you must have heard about the term API. But what is it? How to use it? And what benefits do you get from using an API? Today, we will cover all these concepts and finally use Circle's Postman API collection to do some API calls. What are API? API is just a short form for application programming interface. Didn't understood? Okay, let me explain you with a simple example. Let's say you went to a restaurant, ordered a pizza, and a waiter receives it. Now waiter delivers that order to the cook, and cook cooks that pizza and delivers it to waiter, and then waiter delivers that pizza to you and you are happy. What happened? In general, you can think of yourself as an application, waiter as an API, and the server as cook. So here things get interesting. What happens here is this application sends a request, in this case pizza, to an API, and API delivers that request to the server or any other application. In return, the server, which is the cook, returns the request to an API, and then API sends that request back to the user, which is the application itself. So everyone is happy. Now, what is the use case for this? So in this case, you are interacting with the server without knowing how server is sending you the details. API is sort of a middleman here. It's very similar how in hotel you order something and you get it delivered via a waiter. You don't need to worry about how this will be cooked or what ingredients are there or the techniques they are using. You just get your response directly from the server via an API. So that's whole lot of things in API. But have you seen, I have mentioned something about request, but what are requests type? Requests are of different type. First request is get request. Second is post request. Third is put request. And fourth is delete request. Let's understand what get request is. It just gets the data. In simple terms, our analogy, it's like ordering a menu or pizza. Post request is create or save data, that is delivered order menu, which is done by the cook via API. What is just the update data? So let's say if you don't want only pizza, you also want Coke, then you can update it accordingly. And delete data is just to cancel order, so you don't want your pizza again. Now that we know about this request type, let's look at how data is sent and returned. In computer world, it's something called JSON, and it is simple form of JavaScript object notation. And this is how it looks like. You have these key and these values. Each key and value is embedded inside a construct, and there can be multiple type of data types inside this construct. You have this key as a string. Note that key will always be a string and value can be of any data type. So you actually query for the key and you get a value in return which is stored in the database itself. Okay, let me make the database. Now if you see here, the main important part that we are interested is this result. And here there are name and URL. So you have fetched the result of the Pokemon from the Poke.api key. And here this v2 represents the versioning of the API. Now another thing is, here if you see, entire URL is almost the same for every case, and this will always happen. But what differs and how we get the return result is using this simple change here. It just represents the number of items present in this result list. So first item is Bulbasaur, so that's returned. Second item is Ivysaur, so that's returned. And the third item within that database where we are querying is Venusaur, so that's get returned. So I hope that you understood what JSON object is at a very high level. It's just simple way to represent a data in a dictionary format. I hope that that's clear. Now let's move to setting up our environment. So the first step is to create a Circle Sandbox account, which allows us to prototype certain things using the Circle's developers account. To set up that, we have to first visit Circle sandbox sign up page. Don't worry, I will be providing it in the description and on my GitHub page as well. Next, we have to fill up all the details and register and then perform the two-factor authentication, which is a must. So we will click on the sign up page. It will open a new browser here, and as you can see, we have to first fill in our legal name, then our last name, then you have to provide your legal entity name, work email address. Mostly they will prefer the work email address, but else you can directly send your personal email address also. Now you have to provide this password, and then finally you will click on this sign up. Let me do it for you. I click on sign up and it will move me to this authenticator password page, and here you need to download this Google Authenticator. What you have to do is to go to the Play Store and you have to type this Authenticator. Now you have to download the first one, Google Authenticator. Then you need to get this QR code, point it to the camera, and you will get a unique code each time when you sign in. So I have already done all these steps. So let me just log into my account, and as you can see, I am on my Circle's sandbox page. So now let's move on to our next step. Now we have to generate our API key. So for that, we need to navigate to developer section and click on generate new API key. So I am on this page again, and you can click on this developer or get API key. I will click on this developer and I will click on get new API key. Now this is sensitive, so please don't share it with others. Okay, so I will just copy this one, as you will be needing it in the further steps. So the third step is to download the Postman application. Those who don't know, Postman is an application which allows you to directly see what the API has returned in a GUI format. So we will visit the Postman download page, then download and install the application. We need to log in or sign up or use a web app. So we will go to this download page. Here it will automatically detect what OS you are using, and you can click on this link or button and it will download the application for you. Now once you open it, you can directly open the folder and you can click on this application and it will launch the Postman itself. You don't need to even install it. Alternatively, if you plan to use web version, you can click on this launch Postman and it will redirect you to this website, web.postman.co, and here you can see all your applications. So the fourth step is to fork the Circle's collection API. In simple terms, collection is a group of APIs that you perform certain tasks under certain category. So we will just navigate to the Circle's Postman collection API. Then we will click on Run in Postman and then we'll fill the details and fork. Let me give you a brief demo how we are going to do that. So we will first click on Postman Circle's collection API. It will take you to this developers.circle.com/developers.postman page. Here are a list of collections that are available. So I am going to click on the one that I want and I will click on this fork collection, and now it will open it on the Postman web page. Here we will just rename it with the core functionality. Now we will click on this fork collection and you can see it that core functionality API has been added. And if you want to check it in the Postman, is you can open your Postman application and make sure that you are signed in with this, else you will not see these. Okay. Here is one extra thing that you need to do, which I haven't pulled till now, is click on this type and use this bearer token, and here we have this variable called API key token. So if you remember that we already have our bearer token, so copy this bearer token, click on this token, and we are done. Now you can use any of these APIs. So the first API call that we are going to do is checking the wallet balance using Circle's API collection. So for that I am moving to a documentation that I have created and I will be sharing it with you all also. So those who don't know about Circle, let me give a word or two. Circle is a payment provider that offers APIs, that is application programming interface, for developers to integrate payments into their application. Circle API allows developer to send, receive, manage balances, transaction, and more. And this document provides instruction for various Circle collection APIs to perform tasks such as checking our wallet balance, obtaining a master wallet identifier, we will look into what it is, and funding the wallet. So for that, there is a prerequisite that you need to fork the Circle collection APIs, as we have demonstrated in the previous section also. Now we will move to checking balance. So you have to go to the core functionality collection, then head to the balances. You have to go to the list all balances API. You have to head to authentication tab, change this inherit auth from parent to bearer token, and click on the blue send button, and you will get some response. Now let's see how it will work in practice. So first of all, we will move to the core functionality collection. So that is here. We will click on this balances folder, and then we will list all the balance. Okay. Now here you have to move to the authorization tab and click on this to bearer token. And as you can see, there is a bearer token present already here. All you need to do is click on the send button. Once you click on the send button, you will see that this data is present here, right? And it says that my amount is 16.06 and my currency is USD. And to verify that that is the case, I am going to show you my Circle Sandbox account. And here if I click it, you can see that I have exact same amount in USDC that was displayed in my Postman application 6.0. So that one is the first use case of the API to get the wallet balance. Now the second one is to obtain the master wallet identifier using Circle's API collection. And again, to do that, I will head back to my Notion doc. And this is master wallet identifier. So to say the least, master wallet identifier is kind of identifier which stores all the wallet accounts that are present in Circle. So that is a unique one, and it already gets created when you create your account on Circle, and we are going to obtain that using our API in this case. So what we need to do is we have to go to the API overview collection, and then we will head to the management folder. There we will click on the get configuration info API. We will head to the authentication tab, repeat the same process of inherit authentication from parent to bearer token changing, and then we will click on the blue send button. And finally, we will save the wallet identifier. Let's see how we will do it. So let me close this. Now we will go to the API overview, then we will go on the management folder, then we will click on get configuration info. In this, we will head back to the authentication tab, we will click on this bearer token, and you can see that it's already present. Okay, we'll click on this blue send button, and this is the master wallet identifier that we require. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy it, and for security purposes I'm not showing it what it is, going to paste it because we will be needing it in our next step. So this is how you get your master wallet identifier. I hope that's pretty clear for you now. Now let's move to our final API that we are going to use today. So the last one that we are going to do is funding the user's wallet. You can fund your wallet using these APIs. And we are going to use again the Circle's API collection, but this time a different one. So let's head back to our Notion doc that I have already created earlier also. Here is a fund wallet section. What you need to do is click on this accounts API collection. We will head to the wallets folder. We will select the create a blockchain address API. Then in the params tab under path variable table, we will change the value to the wallet identifier that we have copied, that is the master ID wallet. Now we will fill in the UI ID, that is idempotency key, and then we will change the currency value to USD. Then we will click on this send button. So what this entire thing will do, it will create a blockchain address which you can use as a developer to prototype things. Now we will take this wallet address that was generated and head to the USDC faucet and then paste the value. We will verify and then we will submit to receive some testnet tokens, and then we will finally verify in our Circle Sandbox account. So let's move to that. First of all, you need to go under the accounts, then click on the wallets, then you need to click on the blockchain address. In the blockchain address, you have to change this to your wallet ID. For example, this is my wallet ID. Okay. Now in the body tab, you can see that there is UIID or the idempotency key, which is a unique identifier and it's empty. So we need to fill in that. Then we will need to change this to USD and the chain will be changed to ETH. Okay? And this UIID key that we need, we can get it from the UIID generator, which I have linked in the documentation itself. You have to go to this UIID generator, click on generate a version 1 UIID, copy this UIID, paste it as a string. So that's very important. Now go to this authorization, click on this bearer token, and then you have this bearer token. And finally, the parents tag, you can click on this send. Once you click on this send, you will see that there is an address which is generated. You can copy this address. This is linked to your master wallet identifier. Let's open back our Notion documentation. Then go to this USDC faucet, paste this wallet address. Since it is a ETH chain, that's why we will click on ETH. I will click on I am human. I am in confirm everything like what the hockey matches are there. Okay, so we will confirm, and confirm. Finally, we will verify it and we will submit. Once you click on submit, you will see that it will say USDC will arrive shortly. Now to verify that we have actually sent the payment to this address, you can go to this Circle Sandbox account, go to this merchant payments, and as you will go to this transfers, and here you can see that date is 3/20/23, and here the same date is there, and the source is ETH blockchain, and the destination tag again is the same. It says pending. That means it will take some time. So we will wait for some time and we'll check the transaction details on here, and it says success. But what happens is Circle needs to verify from their own end. That's why they will do it. But once everything is done, you will see this complete status. So this is how you can fund users' wallet using Circle's API collection. And that concludes our tutorial. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you subscribe and let us know if you want more tutorials like these. And if you have any suggestions, make sure that you share it in the comments and we will apply to them. So bye-bye.